You're welcome back from that background report on the benefits of coconuts. As you know, there are so many opportunities in the coconut industry, and you know how we do it every Monday. We bring to you Engineer Abayomi Onasanya, Global Director of African House, and he is here to talk to us on the opportunities of, coconut industry. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good to have you.
Thank you very much.
So, what are the current trends and innovations driving opportunities in the coconut industry?
Well, good morning, Abuja. Again, thank you for having me. The coconut industry has been around for thousands of years, and Nigeria used to be a player in the industry, but unfortunately, due to the advent of or shall I say the discovery of oil and gas, we totally ignored the industry. And whilst we were running after oil and gas, other nations, other nations of the world, they've been able to tap into the coconut industry, and they've developed it beyond the traditional coconut consumption. And in fact, the trend is so big now that it's worth more than $2-3 billion every year. You see, and as a nation, we need to get back on track so that we can tap into the industry and create opportunities for our people. And that's what we'll be discussing today.
Okay. So how does the growing demands for coconut-based products impact the potential of our growth?
Because coconut can only be found in certain places.
Okay.
And as a result, nations with such potentials are strategically positioned to make a good income from coconut. And a good example is Indonesia and Sri Lanka, Thailand, and some other Asian countries where coconut is produced en masse.
Okay.
And as a result, these people have, so to say, captured the market, the entire market, the value chain. And these people are exporting hundreds of millions of dollars in coconut products,
all over the world.
All over the world, in fact. And what we know, traditional is basically the coconut meat, the white substance or the flesh in it. But coconut goes beyond that. You have opportunities to start producing even milk.
Yeah,
coconut milk, either in the liquid form or even in the powder form, which has more benefits than the traditional milk. And you have the coconut water, which is medicinal. And then you have the coconut oil, you see, which is very expensive and which is very, very, very valuable, you see. And recently, we now discover that you could actually use the so-called waste from coconut.
That's the shell.
The shell. The shell can be used to make briquettes, which replaces charcoal for cooking. And even the fiber, the coconut fiber, the airy part of coconut, is now being used in agriculture, smart agriculture called hydroponics. Hydroponics is the technology that allows you to grow food without soil, and we're going to talk about it in one of these programs. And the interesting thing is that the coconut fiber is being processed into something called coconut coir. Coconut coir is basically processed coconut fiber, and is being used as a substrate, or shall I say, the replacement for soil in hydroponics. And what you now discover now is young farmers from the West, they will go to places like Sri Lanka and some other nations in Asia. Okay. They will pack only the coconut fiber, process it into coconut coir, and then they'll start exporting in millions. In fact, a single 1 kilogram package of coconut coir can be as high as $50-60. And this is something an average Nigerian can do in his kitchen. You don't even need a lot of machineries to do that. But because in the West, they don't have as much coconuts as they do in those countries, so they have to travel down to places like Sri Lanka and load the coconut fiber in their containers, take it over there, process, and then sell. And as we know, the whole world is moving towards sustainable agriculture. And because we're moving towards sustainable agriculture, you need materials that fits into that particular bracket of organic and natural. So coconut fiber fits perfectly into that industry. So for a Nigerian youth, all you can simply do is...
But where can we find this? Where do we have more of the coconut trees in Nigeria?
Well, Lagos used to be the top producer of coconut in Badagry and Ekpe axis because of the coastal zones. And unfortunately, now you discover that most of those coconuts are being cut down, and the tree itself is being used as furniture, is being used for roofing, for if in fact they export them. In fact, and you begin to wonder why would we do such a thing? Because coconut is a tree that can feed an entire family for generations, because it can stand for up to 100 years. A single tree. You see, and aside Lagos, you have Akwa Ibom.
Okay.
You have Cross River State. You have some states in short, the coastal zones of Nigeria, in the south. That's where you traditionally coconut is found, and this has to be. We need to bring back those industries, because a tree like I said, will stay for more than 100 years, and is a tree that provides, for the nation, not just for yourself, for the entire nation. It gives you food, it gives you oil, it gives you it gives you so many components, that creates money, and now the whole world is running after it. Do you know that now you can actually make some furniture from that fiber? In fact, it's being processed into, it's called coconut fiber wood. You see, so it's the fiber is ground into pebbles, and then it is extruded through a machine and a press that makes it look exactly like furniture. So it replaces the MDF and the other furniture that we import, and it's natural too. So that's the beauty of it. So coconut has this massive potentials.
So talking about the opportunities, what are the investment opportunities available? As in, you've mentioned a few, but we would like to know more for coconut farming.
Well, for an average Nigerian, we can start by investing money in planting our coconut trees. You see, bringing back those trees. And the interesting thing is, it's what I call lazy investment, because the moment you plant them, they take care of themselves. You don't need to spend money on buying NPK fertilizers and whatnot. After they've passed certain steps, they just grow, because it's their natural habitat, you see. So you watch your investment literally grow, over the years. And once it reaches maturity, it begins to pay you back for 100 years. Even it will outlast you as a person. And not only that, we should look at the products that we can get from coconut. You can get coconut powder, which is very expensive. You go to any shop in Nigeria today, you discover that they like 50 grams is being sold for God knows what. And then the coconut oil that we can export, you see, for so many things, for medicinal use, for the cosmetics industry. And then you have the, what's it called? The coconut water, which is being used in making different beverages, because it is healthy. It's a good replacement for the so-called fizzy drinks. You see, because it's healthy.
Which actually brings me to my
exactly, the health benefits.
The popularity of the coconut water.
Exactly.
So can it really bring, adding for making money for the entrepreneur?
It is. In fact,
just the water and the beverages.
The water itself, of course, you have to.
But it gets sour with time. You don't really preserve it well.
Yes. So what you do is, when you make a beverage, you not only keep it as an individual beverage, but you could do a mix of different things. You could be creative with it. You could make coconut with ginger spice in it, or coconut with hibiscus and whatnot. So and these drinks you can export. In fact, you see, because they're healthy, categorized as healthy food. You see, we can even do coconut powder export as well, and so many other things that we can do with coconut.
So, Engineer Bayomi, we'll take a short break, because when you're talking about coconut, it's something I love. I love to cook with it, and I love to make candies. You know how we do it. Me and you, we have this rapport of cooking and everything. So let's go with this short break. Well, we've been discussing the opportunities in the coconut industry. We're going to short break, and we'll be right back.
It is better for you to stay in your classroom, even if you are poor, but you are able to teach and deliver, the knowledge that you are supposed to do in the setting where it is supposed to be done. We need to have accountability. There should be transparency. There should be, commitment. There should be patriotism.
Join us this Monday at 12:30 for another refreshing episode of Heroes of Abuja, and a repeat broadcast on Sunday.
Welcome back from that short break, and we've been discussing the opportunities of coconut industry here in Nigeria with Engineer Abayomi Onasanya. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you very much.
So many opportunities
That's true.
in the coconut business, either from the shell to the powder to the coconut water. So, what roles does the technology play in improving the coconuts and harvesting and processing method?
The interesting thing about coconut is you don't need too much technology to process it, which basically implies that it reduces your startup cost. You see, that means even a farmer in the village can basically tap into this industry and start making money.
Okay.
And of course, technology helps you move things faster. Like if you have systems of conveyor systems that moves the coconut from one point to the other, you don't have to carry it on your back and whatnot. And also extracting the milk, extracting the flesh from the coconut, technology plays a vital role in that. That being said, the type of technology that can be implemented, they can be ingrown. We don't need to bring anything from outside.
Okay.
These are small and small equipments that can be fabricated locally. And I would like to talk more about the what an average individual can do, because the key is always saying here boils down to what can an average Nigerian do in the village or in the city to make money from coconut industry. And what an average Nigerian can do basically is number one, if you don't want to invest in the growing coconut part, growing the plantation, you can always invest in the processing part, which basically involves buying coconut. And once you buy the coconut, you can either be someone who processes coconut drinks. You see, you make beverages using coconut. You can also start making coconut milk, which is very, very, very valuable and very expensive. You can either do it in the wet format. You can even do condensed coconut milk, which is very interesting, by the way. Exactly, condensed coconut milk, which replaces the importation of condensed milk. You can also do coconut powder, coconut milk powder. You see, and the equipments are available even here in Nigeria and Abuja, where you can use, and they're very cheap. In fact, you can do that. And the other interesting part is the waste from coconut. Yeah. You can start exporting coconut briquettes or coconut charcoal, to keep it in simple terms. It's basically the hard shells of coconut. You dry them up and then you turn them into charcoal and then you export. People buy this. People use them because it burns longer than an average charcoal. Exactly. So it's money. It's worth millions and millions of dollars. And there's a ready market for that. In fact, you don't need to look for the clients. The clients will look for you. And the most interesting part is the fiber, which is often ignored, because when coconut is harvested, when you slash coconuts into the green bark, they usually throw away that thick bark and then focus on the coconut itself. Yeah. That part is actually money. So what you do is you extract those air. Yes, not the shell, the green, the outer cover. The husk, we call it. Okay. You see, people usually throw it and just throw it in the fire for cooking. Don't do that. It's like you're burning dollar bills. Really. So what you do is that shell, you extract the fiber. Okay. Once you extract the fiber, of course, you clean it, you make sure it's sanitary and whatnot, and then you chop it into smaller chunks. The finer ones, you can compress it and make it into what they call cocoa peat. Cocoa peat is what they use in flowers, in all these ornamental shops. Have you ever seen those flowers that they put in houses? The substrate is coconut peat. A kilogram of coconut peat is about 3,000 to 5,000 naira. You can do that in your kitchen. You don't even need machineries. If you want to go a step further, you can take the fiber, the much bigger, component of it. You turn it into coconut coir. Coconut coir is a major component in hydroponics. Hydroponics is growing food without soil, and hydroponics uses coconut coir a lot. The Americans import it. The Chinese import it, and there's a lot of country importing this by the hundreds of millions of dollars. So basically, in your kitchen or in your backyard, if you have access to coconut, you can make money. You can be earning foreign currency. So you don't need to say, you know what, I want to buy machines worth millions and millions. With something as little as 200,000-300,000 naira, you can start and you can start making money. So let's go into this.
Which of the global markets shows the most promise for the coconut?
For coconut, for the waste, like the coconut fiber that I talked about, America is number one. They are importing around $420 million every year. So Nigeria can tap into that. China imports a lot of coconut products. In fact, they import the old coconut itself. They import coconut powder. They import coconut oil, which is used for so many. The cosmetic industry, they are dying for coconut oil. The virgin coconut oil, because it's a natural a product that's used for cosmetics and so many medicinal purposes. So we can do that. So the opportunities
There's so
are
many
huge
opportunities.
in coconut industry.
Oh, there's always something new for us here on the program to learn, and that's why we always bring you every Monday to give out to tell people what we have and what opportunities we have in order to make a lot of money and to improve the economy. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you so much.
As always. Wow. There are so many opportunities here in Nigeria, especially in the coconut business. It's not just about, dumping the shells or, that you can do a lot with it. You can make so much money with this coconut business. We're going on a short break and our personality of the week will come up. Let's find out who is the personality of the week today.